Okay, just to review what we learned today, Bez Hashem, as we saw, Zimun is a very big chiyuv. Whether it's the Raisa, the Rabbanos, Machlokes Rishayim, and Gedolei HaPoskim, but definitely Zimun is a chiyuv, at least at the Rabbanon. It's interesting, some hold 3 is the Ikka, some hold 10 is the Ikka, but one thing is certain, there are 3 psukim that at least allude to the mitzvah of Zimun, Gad Lashem Iti, the pasuk of Kishem Hashem, and also as Hashem Alikecha, the Rabbi Zimun. There are 2 Mishnayos, the whole Perik, 10 Simonim in Shulchan Aruch. And that's why it's not just a question of a mabakach, yeah or not. We're talking about a mitzvah, which could be a deraisa. And more so, if it's not necessary, it turns into a terrible brachal of Atala. So that's why basically, the halacha is, if you have a minyan of 10 and you either forgot to say Elokeinu or you didn't realize you have a minyan, B'kitzah, 10 people benched and did not say Shem Hashem, they didn't say Elokeinu, you can't do it over. You're Yaitz B'di'evet with 3, and like the Hezbollah said, probably is because it's really the same mitzvah, but you lost the Maila. So a Maila is not Ma'akib. It's like making a Shahakal on an 8 that you're Yaitz B'di'evet, and you can't be Frum and make an 8 because I want to do it right, because now it's Krum. That's a Brachal Batola. Or our case, Zimun of 10 is definitely better than 3, but once you said 3, you were Yaitza. And as the Rav and others say, it's a Me'uvis La Yuchal Iskan, but you can't repeat a Zimun and say Elokeinu, you're Yaitza with the first one. Ein Zimun L'Mafreya usually means that after benching you can no longer make a Zimun. But in this context it means since you were Yaitza, so keep it as that and you can't make another Zimun. As we showed, there are different parts of the Zimun. Rabbi Yisrael Velam Benchen is just the has Achana for the Achana. Yehi Shem is the Tzibur saying we accepted your message, and the Mezamin repeats it. The Nevarech is the invitation, but the real Zimun is Baruch Elokeinu or Baruch Shechalnu Mishaloi, and that's why it's very important that the Mezamin has to respond to be Yaitza, his mitzvah of Zimun. That's Baruch Shechalnu Mishaloi. If they just said Nevarech or just started, or even when he said Nevarech Shechalnu Mishaloi Tevay Chayinu, so then tell him to start again. Nevarech Elokeinu Shechalnu Mishaloi, and then the tzibur will say correctly, and there's no reason to repeat the Rabbi say or Yehi Shem. If he said Nevarech Shechalnu Mishaloi, and the tzibur said Baruch Elokeinu, it's also good, and you yaitza that way as well. The question is, if he and the tzibur said without Elokeinu, now what can he say Baruch Elokeinu? So that we said it's a machlokes, because could be it's like a different mitzvah, you can't group the two, and basically it's probably better that he should say Baruch Shechalnu Mishaloi, even though he knows now that there is 10 people. If there was less than 10 and they benched with Elokeinu by mistake, so after all is said and done, you Yaitza B'di'evet and you can't make another Zimun. What does it hurt to make another Zimun? But basically this Zimun was made, and keep it as it is. If you realize after the Mezaman said Nevarech Elokeinu, so then Baruch Shem and start again, or better yet, let the Olam say Nevarech Baruch without Elokeinu and keep it as it is. If an impatient person started to bench, he lost the opportunity of Zimun, but he can answer, and he's not Yaitza. So it's of course you have to not be impatient, but once he started and he's holding past Noida, he no longer is allowed to, he can't be Yaitza the Zimun, but he has a Chiyuv of Zimun. The best thing would be to wait for this person to get to Al Yachasreinu and then make a regular Zimun, and he could answer regularly. If it involves Tircha Tzibur, waiting till he gets to Al Yachasreinu, so you're allowed to be Mezaman with him, Bein Bracha LeBracha, he could answer, not be Yaitza, but help the 2 or the 9 that need him. In the middle of the first Bracha, if they realize that they need him, even though he's in the middle of the Bracha, the Megadim has a suffix, maybe he could even answer during the Bracha and be Yaitza, which of course is a big Chiddush. But it's probably better to wait at least until after Azan HaSakal, although he probably will lose, obviously. But what could you do? You can't make a suffix hefsek during the first bracha. If he just said Baruch Ato Hashem, you could convert it on Bein Chukecha, even though it's not so pashit, but in this case that's the right course of action, and start the Zimun as if nothing happened. During Ashiyatza, if he's going to miss the Zimun otherwise, let him again, obviously, answer the Zimun, and then afterwards continue where he's holding an Ashiyatza. It's like a Bracha Rucha, like saying Kedusha during a Bracha Rucha. We did say if a person if they benched with Zimun and they forgot to add the Ein HaMe'ura, they bench over without a new Zimun. If they didn't make a Zimun and they all forgot to say Ritzei Al V'Yavai, then because they never made a Zimun and we could rely on at least being a Safek Chi of Zimun, they should make a Zimun without 10, Mevarach Shechalnu, and with that they could be Yoytze the Zimun.